Are you ready for what?
Well, what's up, Todrick? How are you?
I want to know when you'd be back at the bar. I'm getting tired.
I'll be back soon. I'm kind of liking my digs.
You took all the equipment. You took all the whiskey. You left me with nothing for like 5 weeks in a row.
About time you got your just dues. Don't worry, this whole sports thing is over soon, and I'll be back at the 210 quasi studio doing our thing, so we'll be fine.
Well, you made an exception tonight. You got here early. Usually I'm starting the first hour. It's like the golden hour, right? Just me.
Yes, so
great.
I had so many complaints about that I felt like I needed to get here on time. My phone was blown up not another week of Todd for an hour. I said, I'm sorry. I will do my best. So
I don't believe that's fake news, Andrew. It's fake news.
That is real news, along with some other real news.
The reason you're here early is why you kind of got your daughter or somebody to watch her for the second half of the practice, and because of why? Why are you here tonight, Andy, for the first hour?
Because this is our show, Todd.
Oh, is that? I don't think that's what it.
Yeah, I love when you set me up and I just don't play along. It just makes you so mad. I just love it. No, we have a great show tonight. As you may know by the background.
Maybe we should go off and we can show the background. Can we do that?
Well, I'll pull it up. Here we go. Don't you worry your pre-striped head. We have this coming this Friday is dropping, which we are extremely excited about. So an amazing rye with a pretty badass tater sticker. And an amazing
hopefully
bourbon.
Warren doesn't see that. Hopefully Warren doesn't see that, kind of.
I don't think in our little world that's going to do much. I'm pretty sure we don't have much to worry about. We've done this on every other one, so what's the difference now?
I love it. You guys like it?
Anyway, these are dropping this Friday, and to help us promote at some point tonight.
Yeah, at some point tonight.
Sean from EverNorth, aka the Bourbon Junkies. If you haven't heard of them, they have a really small channel.
They go on Tuesday nights usually.
On Tuesday nights, that's probably why you don't see them. They have a couple
really small
followers, but
not many.
We tell them, you know what? If you really want to come on that bad, we'll let you.
Fine.
We'll let you come on Glam and Drams.
Fine.
So
now it's they got a drop. Sean just texted us saying it's like 7:15. A late drop of whiskey that's coming in. So he's dealing with that. And he's there. So
there he is. There he is. So we're in good shape. But so we'll recap a little bit about that trip up to Michigan, which was absolutely a blast. And we're stoked to have Sean on tonight. We'll also tell you a little bit later about a little excursion that we took this weekend, which was really cool. It's been an action-packed few weeks. Cindy, sorry about my Jets. That was a tough one to watch, but what an entertaining season. I had a blast. I'll talk about that later too. But yeah, we're really excited, especially Def Leppard was here this weekend at Ocean City Boardwalk, which
you were in the middle of nowhere, Virginia.
So I kind of can't believe that we didn't actually go, but yeah. But tons going on, but let's bring our guest up. We're excited for the first time on Glam and Drams with 2TEN90's. Our buddy from Michigan, Sean. What's up, man? How are you?
What's up, brother?
Hopefully my mic is working.
You sound great. Oh shit! This is where I should do the applause, right, Todd? Yeah. See, now I got digs on this time. I gotta make sure I'm doing that.
Well done.
Had to throw around a couple plan B's and C's because things were not wanting to cooperate right now.
Do you know who we are? We screw up all the time anyway, so it's good. We can hear you. It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, so did the drop? Did you got new inventory in? Everything's good. EverNorth's.
Yeah. We just got 20 more Green Rivers in today. They're the 16% mash bill, which I think your guys' pick was 21% rye. Okay.
Yes.
And then I have the rye with me too, which fun story about that. But yeah, we just got the 16s in. We drilled through one of each pallet. Me and Brandon were just kind of looking through, trying different things. Just kind of wellness check on barrels. And Brandon drilled into one and goes, "Whoa, what?" He goes, "Do you see where I drilled?" And it was like just above the second band in the bottom. I was like, "Go lower." So he went to the bottom band, went below that, and got some whiskey out. It is very, very dark. There is a lot of char in it, and it proofed out to 145 proof.
Wow.
So what will happen with those honey? What will we do with that?
Ryan Alves will probably come pick it. He's coming up on Thursday to do a pick. And he said, "I'll just take that one as a cherry on top barrel, and then just set that aside."
That's so funny.
If there's not enough really for him to do anything with, we'll end up just probably throwing it into like the next Night Stalker or something like that, because those like really, really heavy char barrels help out a lot when things are feeling hot, or that one's hazmat, so that might not help with that. But those like really char heavy barrels kind of calm down the finish a lot of times. So we've been using barrels like that in the blend to try and smooth some stuff out.
Very, very cool. Well,
that's awesome.
Sean, silly question, because we always laugh here since we've been doing Tuesday streams, and obviously you and Dan go on Tuesdays.
Some nights, yeah.
Some nights, yes.
You got something else going on. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's funny because we're always like, yeah, there's another channel that goes on at the same time as we do. But I am pretty sure that 99.9% of everybody out there knows exactly who you are. But just in case you want to do the elevator pitch, and we'll throw it on you and talk a little bit about EverNorth, talk about your experience with your not so better half, because I definitely like you more than Dan. Well, we can talk about that later too.
Damn.
He's coming back from a golf trip right now. So
see, I know that's fine.
He sucks at golf, right? He's not very good at golf. I've seen him swing. He's not that good.
He beats me from time to time, so I will not shit on him.
That means you're not good either.
No, we're trying to get better. That when you're bad at something, it just leaves a lot more room for improvement. So
I played a scramble this morning, and we did best ball, and
you still sucked.
Yeah.
Ooh, best ball scramble's tough.
Yeah. Yes. So it was fun. I hit a couple great shots, and then I hit some. I lost
how many
quite
shots
a few
did you
balls.
use of yours, Andy? 3, 4? How many did you use of yours?
No, actually, we used a lot of my putts. My putter was working today. My putter was good.
Short game always with you, Andy.
And but I could not drive to save my life. But then again, my brother's a great driver, so it worked. But anyway, no, Sean was smart enough to pick out who the greatest band was of all time when we were there. He talked about Def Leppard, whereas obviously Dan completely ruined it, and so he lost all credibility. But that's okay. Both good guys. But tell us a little bit about yourselves, man.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know who we are, we started on YouTube about 6 years ago as the Bourbon Junkies. We have been putting out content pretty regularly. We've missed one upload, and that was an accident. It was uploaded. We forgot to push it live, mostly me. But Mondays and Thursdays, we put out content on that. About 3 years ago, me and Dan were kind of talking about what we wanted to do next in the scape, and he kind of pitched a distillery, and I was like, that sounds stupid. So 3 years later, here we are. We are currently laying down contract distillate with Sagamore. They do 3 different mash bills for us.
That's awesome.
Well, that's coming up in age. We source from places that you probably know and heard of. So Green River, Barton, MGP, just to name a couple. And that's 2 of the barrels that we'll be kind of talking about tonight, is both Green River and MGP, but not in the way that most people know MGP, which is fun. Yeah. So we are EverNorth Spirits. So I got my hoodie on. I even have my Bourbon Junkies hat on. Look at that.
There you go.
We're up in, the Midland, Michigan. So I can do this. We're like right there-ish in Michigan, about 2 hours north of Detroit. If you guys know where Dow Chemical is, we're right next to them, basically in Midland. We've been open since we just crossed over a year in February. That was our grand opening. So we just celebrated our 1 year, but we have Brandon, who is our, I don't know, whatever he wants to call himself, but he does a lot for us, from the tasting room to blending stuff for us on Bourbon Junkies side as well, pouring us blinds, coming up with ideas. But we're there Thursday, Friday, first and last Saturday of the month. So if you ever want to come in and try a couple things, this is, if you ever have not seen our bottle, this is our single barrel rye. This is their rye that they picked.
Glorious.
But yeah, that's kind of what we do. We just kind of do a lot of single barrels and blends of stuff that we like to drink, and hopefully other people do too.
And before we get into our picks, Andy, I got to say this. So Sean, Andy, you mentioned everybody knows who you guys are, and I get it. But I'll be honest, I love that you're coming on here and you're letting groups like us come to you and pick these barrels. I've had a few people say, I've never tried EverNorth. I know who the Junkies are, but I can't get their product. I can't wait to taste your single barrel. I think it's a great thing. Now, that's the point of all this, right?
We're trying to do, our goal is to basically step up on our blends on every one that we do, make them a little bit larger. Most of our stuff is either sold through the tasting room, stores in Michigan, or through our Patreon. So they have,
This is an absolute, I got to stop you real quick.
Yeah.
One of my top 3 bottles I've tried this year. I mean, it's up there for me. And as crazy as it sounds, with Batch 11 from K. Luke and the Jack 14.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
I mean, you have to. I know I didn't try the other one, so I don't know the. But the Night Stalker 4 to me is just, you have to be happy when this came out.
Thank you. So honestly, the blend on that was when we first got our runs of 21s and 16s we just started going through the barrels. We really, really liked them. Earmarked like 11 barrels to start blending. I'm going to have a cat on my table all night. She just knows.
That's all right. No worries.
Knows when this camera comes on. Excuse me. But we had earmarked about 11 barrels just for that project. The base was 7 barrels of Green River that were around the 125-ish proof mark. And then we started blending in some MGP. So we have, I think it's 6 and 7 year Green River, and then 8 and 11 year MGP. And the 11 years were some 99.1 barrels that honestly they had a really cool flavor, but by themselves, they didn't have like a crazy finish or anything. Most of them didn't go into the blending program. Right now, most of them are sitting in new Kelvin barrels that we're letting sit upstairs in the production side of things that stays warm in there all year round for us. We've been trying to beat them up with heat, and we definitely will this summer, just to try to like give them something, because the 99.1, you don't have the rye in there to like give it that big back end. It is very, very sweet. It is phenomenal whiskey. It's just not interesting whiskey. So that right now is plan A for our LE that we do every year.
Okay. That sounds delicious.
I don't know.
And when does that come out, Sean?
The first Saturday in November. I don't even have a bottle of Arctic Spirit on me here right now. It's somewhere in this house. But we have a limited label as well that does that we do once a year. We have Plan B and Plan C already cooking in case we don't like the direction of Plan A. But yeah, those 11 years were pretty cool. So was really, really happy with how those turned out. And the secret sauce to the finish on that blend was actually one of the rivers that we got. I wrote empty on the barrel and literally pushed it off the semi. Didn't even catch it with the fork truck. It bounced, and Brandon thought I was just pushing a barrel out. I was like, "Oh, buddy, it's empty." There was we got 5 bottles of the like whiskey that was this color, like dark. It was insane.
And that's what went into this.
Yeah, it was that super, super char heavy whiskey that I was talking about earlier that just finished it. And we added 1 gallon essentially of that, and it like into 300 gallons, which doesn't seem like a lot in the ratio, but it changed the blend so much.
And so, Andy, this reminds me, we talked with Jonathan Maizano of K. Luke, and, he did similar to you, Sean. I mean, picking tons of single barrels. You've done that for Bourbon Junkies. And he decided, he owned his own liquor store. He's like, I started getting into blending. At what point did you and Dan say, you know what, we've done a ton of, we've built this, we've got a following, we've done a ton of single barrels. When did you say, you know what, we can blend? Like, how did that come to be? Like, how did you know it's sort of an art to be able to blend like this?
Honestly, like on the way, I will say we've leaned on Jared from Barrel King a lot. He's very, very smart and very organized. Well, he's organized. I'll say. His brain is just built different. And if you've ever been to Barrel King and seen him blend, we've done a couple projects with him there. He will taste something and go, you know what? I've got the perfect barrel. And he'll walk over to a barrel and go, yep, that's the notes. They're just wrote on the barrel head. And he'll add it in the blend, and 9 times out of 10, it just works. So he's helped out a lot with stuff. Honestly, we owe him a lot of credit. I can't say enough good things about the people over at Barrel King, and just trying to ask as many questions as we can with people about how they put blends together and why things work, and just, know where we don't have all the knowledge and try to absorb what we can.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
you guys are doing a killer job, and you also are, going up to the distillery was a blast. We had a great pick team up there.
Yeah.
And
You
what
guys,
you said to me, it was you've been on a few. This pick, you guys had such a great experience. You're like, it's one of the best. It's the best appearance I've had. I know
it was absolutely amazing, and it was again, because everything is very different. Every pick is different. Every place you go to is different. But look, both you and Dan were very gracious. You were both there the entire time. We sipped through a bunch of stuff. I liked the way that we didn't know what we were sipping on. Everything was blind, and it was like, let's just take the best of the best. We had some fun pours ahead of time. We cut a video that I can show you guys later. I showed it a couple weeks ago. It was funny. It was a blast interviewing you and Dan. But
with
you
Tim
guys
Cornet behind the mic.
Yeah. You guys were awesome to deal with. And I was talking to a distributor over the weekend we were talking about sometimes when channels can get really big, you lose a little bit of that authenticity, and sometimes you lose a little bit of that personal touch. And
we haven't gotten there yet, Andy.
you have nothing to worry about us. But it was funny going out there, because sometimes you wonder, like, oh, well, what do these guys really like? And you guys could have been more down to earth and just because accepting and gracious hosts to us. So we really also thank you for the experience in and of itself, because it was absolutely, we had a great time.
Well, I kind of liked what Todd was talking about earlier. We haven't done a lot of picks. Excuse me. We know what we like. We know what we don't like, and we've just kind of like taken the better parts of a lot of different experiences and tried to put them together for folks. If it's not, it is very non-traditional the way that we do things. It is more or less like the Starlight method. Like, let's just try a lot of things and we'll hone in on what you want. We talked about going to Backbone and Nolan kind of leading his picks that way. And that's what we like to do. We like to have fun with people. We like to give them options, and we'll kind of lay it out, because we'd ask you guys, like, do you want to know, or do you not want to know what you're drinking, mash bills, age, anything like that, and proofs? And you guys were like, nope, let's just do it completely blind, which I love, because we get some people in there and they'll hear like, oh, Green River. They're like, oh, I don't like Green River. Like,
yep.
What?
You don't like Green River's shelf product. I get that. That's
who says that? I don't get that.
We've had groups. And, and it's funny is that group that I mentioned, I snuck a Green River barrel into Bourbon Black, and it ended up being their first.
There you go.
They were doing a couple like finishing barrels and non-finished, and they ended up going with a finished barrel, which it was a really good one. But I was like, see, blind, you didn't have the details that this preconceived notion of not liking the distillate. Not knowing that is great.
Yeah. That's great. Well, I'm sure you've been to, like you said, you've taken those experiences where you've had not the greatest experience picking a barrel, and say we don't want that to be our experience for our our constituents, or whatever to say. But Andy, with you and your pick team, the great thing about that, doing it blind, I remember calling. I wasn't there, so I would call Andy. I said, "What are you trying? Is it Green River? Is it Sagamore?" You're like, I don't know. And this is the way, and that's the best way. And you like live by that mantra. We went this weekend over with Jay at the Reveries, and you're like, we don't want to know what you're giving us. Within, and it works. It certainly does work. It takes all those, because I'm more of a, I am a proof fan. I'm an age. I want to know. And he's like, no, settle down.
It can cloud your judgment, and I think that's the worst thing. Is if somebody tells you something is ahead of time, you automatically are biased whether you think you are or not. And so that's why I think when you're doing picks, you want to experience the barrel for what it is.
Yeah.
And have people love it. And then the good thing was that we were very quick to deliberate and eliminate the ones that we didn't want first. Not that they were bad, they were great, but we knew like where our heads were at. And then it gets tough when you're down to, okay, well, what is this? What is that? And so when you get down into picking between two or three, if you have stats in front of you, the stats are going to come out on top. If you're completely blind, the best is going to come out on top. And
what did you say, Andy, when we went to Glens Creek and you were doing the OCD? You actually picked the youngest one.
I picked the youngest one, and it was one of my favorite picks we've ever done.
Fantastic. So unique.
I think it just makes it better that way, which is great. Right. Cotter, by the way, thank you for the super chat.
Look at that on Fireboards. Yeah, we sent him some samples. Really excited about that.
You know what? He deserves.
These are dropping Fridays, John.
He deserves a thank you.
Oh God.
I got a quarterback option with elite sauce.
Elite sauce? That's me. I'm elite.
Yeah, that's right.
Ruin it, Andy.
I'm not ruining everything by
Sean,
putting
Andy
Joe
has
Flacco up
a
there.
very weird fascination with Joe Flacco. Don't ask questions about him or Def Leppard because we'll go on off a tangent you don't want to go.
Well, because Def Leppard is the greatest band of this and or any generation,
God,
and Joe Flacco is the GOAT. I'm just gonna come out and say it. So that's fine. Jason, that's
all right.
fine.
Anyway.
Jason, thank you, man.
Oh yeah.
So this is dropping this Friday. We've got two
on Bourbon Outfitter. Yeah.
Bourbon Outfitter.
$64.90. I mean, that Sean, we've got 7-year-old MGP 51% rye and 20% Green River 7-year.
Mm-hmm.
Great price points. I mean, just amazing.
Amazing. we there have been I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus on this, but there have been a lot of brands through like the COVID boom that came in and saw the demand and just slapped labels on shit. Good age statements, good proof, even what it is. And you're just, $100 a pop left and right. And it really pushed that, like what we thought was where the market should be. And it is kind of correcting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
At like $60 to $70 on a barrel proof single barrel, like we're not here to beat people up, but we still need to keep the lights on. So sure. there is a tipping point, but we just, I don't know. Not everything needs to be $100. You can still make it in this industry.
Nor is everything worth $100, and that's what I love about the fact that you guys are putting quality stuff out. Because for too long, people were chasing unicorns and allocated bottles, and I think that ship has sailed. People don't want to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But then the single barrel craze came, and everybody and their mother wanted to get one, and they weren't as exclusive either. So now it's like I'll get something if it's worth getting, and if it's from somebody I trust their palates, and it's from a distillery that I trust. All those things kind of factor in. Then you almost don't mind paying a little more, but you're also appreciative when people aren't gouging you. And I think that's what you guys are doing a really good job of doing that right now, because everything you're releasing has been stellar. I know that I'm super excited to jump into. Let's start bourbon, then go rye. What do you think?
I think so. Let's talk about this bourbon.
I don't have your guys' bourbon. I looked around. I thought the only one that we have left is like the TTP retainer sample.
It's all right.
I didn't crack that open. I thought we had one on the bar. I couldn't find it. But I do have the rye here.
All right, well, let's do the bourbon first, Andy.
We'll
get that. Sean, we know we only have a little bit of time with you, so we want to be cognizant of that. Let's the bourbon again.
First
7
of all,
year.
before you do this, Todd, Sean, just because this we always name things after 80s rock. It's just kind of our thing, which is why we have no subs. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. Relax there, little
I see all these people typing in chat.
See, they're all right. We're doing okay. This is a playoff of the Skid Row. That's Skid Row's font. If you remember that song 18 in Life, and I remember there was a song called Monkey Business, which was off their second album, which was great. And I thought, you know what? Let's make this Junkie Business. So this is going to be, and then if you hadn't seen the Cherry Pie album, that's Cherry Rye. We'll get to that next from Warren. But yeah, so that's so you guys, those are the ones dropping this week, which we're excited about. But let's dive into this bourbon because it's one of my favorite pours of the year so far.
Randy, when you guys were picking this, was this help me understand. So the pick team consisted of Tim Cornet, Liz B, LP, who came all the way up from Florida, drove from Florida to be at that pick, Sean. I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Who else was there, Andy?
Paul Gutt was there.
And Gandy Road was there. So great pick team. Was the bourbon or the rye the first church? Because we were only going for one. So, and thankfully, you guys allowed us to take two, which we really appreciate.
I think Dan wasn't happy we took the rye because I think he was liking on that rye.
Wanted that rye. We'll talk about that.
It's a very good rye. I think you guys did bourbon first, and then we circled back to rye.
Okay, so bourbon was the first.
Yeah.
All right. And we call this when I do get cherry on this as well. I get cherry on both of these, by the way, on the nose and in the palate. Different types of cherry. So for me, it's that like for this bourbon, I get like this vanilla cherry cola almost, which I absolutely love, and it's just glorious. And then that 21% rye cuts through some of that sweetness for a fantastic mid palate to finish.
Yeah.
And it's
so both the mash bills that we have aren't what Green River, like they produce it, but they don't use it in their projects. So both the Green River mash bills, well, we have three, but we don't really love one of them. So the two that we normally use, the 16 and the 21, are not their normal mash bills. They're just slightly different on what they use. So that's kind of what I tell people, like, it's not the Green River that you know.
Right. Which I'm okay with that. I don't see that, to me, is a good thing. So is it more rye in the mash bill, I assume, for the bourbon? Or less than their
I think
normal?
it is more rye because
That's what I
it
figured, right?
So that it's a
They don't have
75-21-4.
Okay. That's what we have.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
And I can't remember their normal mash bill right now on that because we thought we had the 16 wrong, but I like double checked that with Ron from our Green River. So I was like, hey, just double check that we haven't been screwing this up. He's like, no, you're right. So it is the normal MGP mash bill 21%, but just distilled by Green River.
Beautiful.
Yeah. We were impressed by how incredibly layered this was too. I mean, this is.
And you didn't know, so you didn't know, Andy, when you guys did this, you didn't know if it was rye, bourbon. I mean, this tastes like a bourbon to me, but when we get to the rye, I can see how this would have thrown you off because this, to me, drinks somewhat like a high rye bourbon. It's 51% rye, so that's the great thing.
All bourbons, and then they're already locked in, and then we switch to rye because it does get very confusing when you're trying to do one distillate and then switch to another, and you're like, what the hell?
No, this was great though. I think a couple of things that kind of sealed the deal for us on this one.
Oh, that's Brandon. Brandon, thank you, buddy.
The nose was fantastic, like you said, and I agree with you. Some of those cherry cola notes were beautiful on the palate. The way this thing carried through, the finish, the viscosity, all that stuff at the end, just kind of like, wow, this is just complete from start to finish. I mean, I think about my shitty golf game.
Yeah.
You know, you drive, your short game, and your putt, right? Well, if one of them's working or two of them's working, it might be okay. If all three are working, it's stellar. This all three pieces were working on this.
Yeah.
And
so that is the normal Green River mash bill, that 70-21-9.
We've got a little bit more corn in them.
Yeah, that's what they normally run under there. So like this, our pick, that would be their mash.
Got it.
This is you guys are gonna love this. I'm telling you.
So Sean, real quick before we get to the rye, I mean, again, these all drop Friday. We have a poll. What are you most excited about for all of our viewers and Patreon members? 82 votes so far. Is it the bourbon, the 7-year Green River bourbon? Is it the cherry rye, the 7-year MGP 51% rye, or both?
I would say the rye, honestly, because
I would too, but it's not winning right now. It's crazy.
Most people, rye is so hard to sell.
I know.
Bourbon, I understand that we're in the bourbon game, but these low ryes from MGP, we've been absolutely blown away by, and that's why we have reordered them to get more in house because of just how much we like them, and we really have been pushing the 52% rise from Sagamore. We'd absolutely love it. That's one of our contract mash bills that they produce for us, and we keep putting them next to the 51 rise from MGP, and people keep gravitating towards the 51s over and over in picks, and it was like, okay, people love them, we'll keep them.
You mentioned the Sagamore, and Sean, are you off? You and Dan, are you guys down at Sagamore at all, or do you make trips? No, okay.
Nope.
If you ever are, we live like 8 miles from Sagamore.
Oh, okay. Great people over there. Fantastic to deal with. Been really, really big fans of them since we have, tasted their first product, and then we were out there trying different stuff. And shout out to BT when he was there. He's the one that got us hooked up with our contract distilling through them, honestly.
And so that's down the road, right? That's going to be then literally your own distillate that you'll use for your. Will you? I guess the goal is to get to that. I mean, are you guys? What's the 10-year goal for EverNorth? Is it to continue to be an NDP, or is it to be a sole, distiller of your own juice or blend?
That's tough. What I've been telling people right now is the money I think is better spent in Sagamore's house right now, having them do distilling. We're very, very happy with what they do. My background is chemistry. I understand the basics of how distilling works, but we would have to have someone come in and teach us how to do everything, buy everything, get it set up. And I'm sure the city that we are in would absolutely run us over trying to putting a still where we're at. So right now, I would say more of the short term is continue to ramp up production year by year at Sagamore and that would be the basis more of what we'd be using in the future. So we have about 60 barrels right now that are, I think they're 3 in August. So they're getting there, just not quite yet. I would like to get them to at least a 4-year before we start working with them a little bit more. But that,
and it's all bourbon. It's all bourbon.
Yeah. Yep. We didn't start distilling the rye until last year, I don't think.
Have you tried their new 123 proof cask strength that's coming out?
I have not yet.
If you need us to get a bottle, we can send you one.
Yeah. Well, our one hookup that lives in Maryland is moving, so I'll keep that in mind.
We can get one for you. If you ever need Sagamore, let us know.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
or tickets to the Orioles because they suck and we can get really good seats. So
are they losing again? Where's Joe Graves? Are they losing again right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we do a 20%. It's the Four Roses mash bills. We have a 20% rye mash bill and a 35% rye mash bill that they contract to still for us.
Awesome. Well, speaking of rye, let's open our pick.
All right. And now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Before we even start, this might be my favorite tater sticker. I just love the cherry pie album is so iconic, and the fact that
with the EverNorth pick where the cherry pie was.
My wife gave me the old "what the hell, dude." I was like, I mean, there's no innuendos. It's just this is 1980s. We're fine. It's fine. It's all good. No one's going to notice anything there. But yeah, I'd love the tater sticker on that. But the juice is worthy of the.
So there's a story behind this barrel, right? There's a story behind this barrel that it just came in when you guys were there, right, Sean?
I think either while you guys are there or the day before.
It was still cold, evidently.
Yeah, I think it was while you guys were there. We literally got a shipment, dropped them off, and we're like, well, you guys want to go through some barrels with us?
Wow.
To which I think Dan may have regretted that decision afterwards. We tried this, like, we got to take this.
Nope, we'd rather have like really good picks out there because we stand by everything that goes out in the single barrel program. We wouldn't put anything into the program that we don't like to drink ourselves.
Oh no, I'm giving him a hard time, but it was because he was really impressed with this. I was like, damn, this is really good. Because I remember him saying, if you guys only want to take half, that's fine. I was like, we can figure out the other. I was like, no,
Paul Gutt would have killed you.
This will move. The guy was ready to shoot me if I didn't take it all home.
We also understand, like I said, rye is much harder to sell to people.
We'll sell it, guys. We'll sell it, right? We've sold.
No, we're not bourbon junkies. We're rye junkies on this channel often. So to play on words here. So we do. We don't. Let's put it this way: we don't shy away from that stuff. We've sold out American single malts, ryes, rums. So
rums.
So this and when this blew me away, and it's funny because
this is amazing.
That nose was like, if I was going to name it cherry rye, this is it, because you get that it's very sweet and decadent. Very, very it's not your traditional rye nose, and I think a bourbon lover will fall in love with this nose before they even sip this thing.
Yeah. So. If you guys, here's my camera.
Yeah, let's pull it up. There we go.
Focus. Do your thing.
It's like ours.
It doesn't want to focus.
It's because it's our stream, Sean. It happens that way. Sorry.
Oh, here.
I feel better. It's not just always us, Todd.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
So right there, you see a nice 51 rye, 45 corn. So a lot of people, when they think MGP rye, you think 95.5, very high rye, very more dilly, spicy, black licorice, or anything like that. So when people have a rye, they think that profile. So when you get these 51 in the high corn, they get so much sweeter, and they don't beat you up as much. And I think it's still what? Proof's on the front. Yeah, it's 120 proof. So this is actually a bottle left over from an event we just did, where we were bringing bottles for people to taste. And Dan was like, this was a very deliberate bottle to bring. For a lot of people, because it is so freaking sweet, and it's more of a people pleaser than like a 95.5 would be.
Sure.
So we had a lot of people come up and they're like, I'm not really big into rye.
Boom.
But it's free for the event, so I'll take a pour.
And don't tell them they wouldn't know half of them. Which is the beautiful
people would
part.
come back and be like, I really like that rye. Can I get another pour? I'm like, hell yeah, man. Like that's what this is for. So it had some very, very good feedback at the event we're at. So that's one for you guys.
Guys, there you go, patrons. We have 190 bottles of the rye, only like 145 of the bourbon. So I think our goal is guys. We picked this for our patrons. We want this to sell out in Patron. Free members may get access to this, but I don't know if it will, to tell you the truth, Andy.
I don't know either.
I buy. You got to buy both. And then
I'll
if you're
tell you right now, this is what I love about this stuff.
Backup of the rye.
I don't know how many times people have come back to us and saying, "Damn, I wish I got a backup of X, Y, and Z."
Hey,
or
we
I
just got these last week. I'm almost gone on these freaking bottles.
But you're an alcoholic. That's different.
That is true.
But
aren't we all?
But I do think that bourbon is it's still the sexier of the two. If you're gonna do that, I guess maybe that's why the tater stickers look like they did. I try to make it a little sexier for the rye. But honestly, the rye in and of itself, this is just such an amazing pour that I think you'll be.
Chocolate
you'll
covered cherries,
love the bourbon, but you're going to be a little upset.
Buttercream,
if you don't get it, you're going to be upset.
Oak spice. I mean, it's got everything. You know, that rye spice does soften some of the sweetness, though, right? So we talked about how sweet this is, but that rye spice, I think, softens some of that. It's not cloyingly sweet. Yeah. It's super viscous. It's
there's no your traditional grassy, dilly, minty. All those things you're not finding them here. This is a completely different animal for a rye.
I have to say shout out to Speyside because all those 51 ryes are full as fuck still at 7 years.
Wow.
So 190 at 7 years is very high fill. We did a bottling day not that long ago, and I think we dumped 2 or 3 ryes, and they were all above 200 bottles, like 204, 201. Which is insane because a full barrel, like all the way topped off, is like 265 bottles, give or take. So it only losing that much in 7 years is
crazy.
That's pretty good.
Crazy. That's crazy.
That's really good. So Bradley said count me for both. That's great. Release them already. Frank, thank you. We appreciate it. Guys, Friday's coming. Remember, if you're not a Patreon, we got Patreon links in there. This is going to go to our Patreons. I doubt it makes it out.
I don't think it does.
So if you guys want to get your hands on these, someone can put in the chat. Well,
the interesting thing was when we do every year, Sean, we ask our patrons what they want us to go after for the next year, right? We have our own ideas, but we want to see what the pulse of our patrons. And so we had a list of like 30 different, distilleries or NDPs, and you were on there. You were number 3 out of 20, almost 30, and you were number 3. Everyone, I mean, that was up there. I mean, that's not us. That's our patrons. I think it's you. I mean, that shows you. I think you get a pulse of this community. You know what people want, and I think it's awesome. I want to thank Brandon for allowing us to do this because Brandon, I reached out to your social media team. He was really, I'll get you in touch with Dan and Sean, no problem. They're busy, but they'll get back to you. And you guys did. And next thing we know, you're inviting us up, and Andy's got a pick team, and we're here. It's awesome.
I have to tell you, this is funny. I said when I was interviewing you guys, I said, okay, be honest. Did you guys know who we were before we came up here?
No.
And both you guys were like, yeah, we know. I'm like, oh, come on, tell the truth. And they're like, no. And I was like, okay, maybe I went too many. But they're like, yeah, isn't there a bald guy on there that does like, yeah. So I was like, there we go. So
bald guy.
Listen, we don't religiously consume whiskey content just because we're in whiskey content.
I don't believe
we know a lot of the creators in the space nonetheless.
Well, Sean, we started as homebrewers. That's how this channel started like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can brew beer 8 times and 10 times, and it gets a little old to do the same video over and over again. And we're like, let's drink. Let's do beer reviews. And that's great and all. But then we started drinking barrel-aged beers. We're like, why do we want like this barrel-aged beer so much? And it's like, well, let's drink the whiskey. And then it's a slippery slope. Little did we know during COVID when we started doing live streams that we were going live on Tuesday nights when you go live because we didn't know what we were doing. So
neither do we.
Whatever.
We just kind of make it work, I guess.
You make it work. Is it still fun, Sean? I mean, all these years. I mean, with EverNorth and even the Junkies. I mean, how do you guys do it? It has to be fun. We've
always said it. We wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. Honestly, like people always like the saying like, if you love what you do, you never work a day. I disagree on that. Whether I love what I do, and it's still a lot of fucking work. So
right.
It's just a little easier enjoying it, I think, and we would stop if we didn't enjoy it. Honestly, like. There are days that we still just go to Dan's and like we'll film a bunch of content and we'll fuck around and like his golfing simulator and just do Bourbon Junkie stuff, catch up on that. Oh, dude, this is like OG shit, and I still love those days. And there are days that we just go to EverNorth and it's like we're working on blends, we're bottling, or we're just, working there all day. And it was like, oh, dude, great day, man. Like, okay, thanks, Deborah. At the end of the day, we're still working for ourselves, and you get out what you put in, and so we just work hard at it.
It's you guys have a good chemistry. It's funny because you and Dan reminded me a lot of Todd and I when I was other. We've known each other since kindergarten, for God's sake. So we've known each other for way too long.
Yeah.
And doing things like any type of content to put out there, and now on top of you guys opening the distillery, it is hard work. And if you don't like what you're doing or the person you're doing it with, it is absolutely brutal. And so
it will absolutely show.
Yeah, it's a tribute and a testament to the bond you guys have, and you guys are doing good stuff too. It doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt that you're putting out good stuff, because
thank you.
That's the other thing. You guys could work your ass off, and the juice sucks, and it still sucks.
So
it's great that you guys are doing such good work.
Quick question: you have a big event this weekend, right? Speaking of golf. You want to plug? I don't know. Is it sold out? Can people still come or no?
It is currently sold out right now. Okay. See, this
you have some releases in your in-house, right? On Friday, correct? So if you're in the area, go.
We had been doing an event every year. So it was Pours in the Park or Pours in the Barn when we changed around. Those are fantastic, like, community days. We just get to hang out and connect with people, and they're awesome. We get to talk to so many people throughout the day. We connect with a lot of people that we know their name but have never talked to. So it's awesome. We loved it. Unfortunately, it is such a fucking drag dealing with all the distilleries. And we had Luke last year that was running a lot of the planning and stuff like that. And would put people together in an email and be like, hey, if you need anything, Luke's our guy. Just contact him. And then they would email Dan and be like, all right, so to do this, and he's like, what? All right, just contact the guy. He's doing it. And it just became such a wear. And we're like, all right, how do we make it easier? So this is kind of our step back here a little bit. We're just doing a golf outing. We're going to have a day at EverNorth. So the day before, we're dropping 5 single barrels, 4.5 really, because one's an 18-year light whiskey that we have
very nice
bottles of. We did not get a lot. And we pulled a couple cases to the bar just to have for pours and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
So I'll say 4.5. Brandon's second Arcane Innovation, so that's his line to do free reign on. This one is a maple cognac finished bourbon. I think it is. I knew he's in here. I think it was a 16 or a 13% Green River. But that's just kind of Brandon's free reign of the place to do whatever he wants. Be finishing barrels or micro blends or whatever he wants to do. That's his fun to do. We've got a bourbon, I think 2 bourbons and a rye, 1 wheated.
Oh, nice.
Those will all be available. We're doing 2 different drops at noon. We're doing 3 bottles, and then I think at 4, I might have this backwards. I know it's 3, but 2 different drops for them, so everyone doesn't have to be there right at 8 a.m. lining up for something. But food truck. I think Brandon's at like an icy place there during the day. But yeah, that'll be our come hang out day. And then on Saturday, we get to go to a local golf course and cook everyone in golf.
I want to see Dan swinging. I want to see him actually cook people in golf. Come on.
I'll be very falsely confident because our one buddy on our team is a scratch golfer.
Oh, so there you go.
Fantastic.
There you go.
It
away.
A lot of it.
It helps.
Yeah. So,
Sean, I gotta tell you, this is funny because Jerry Black says I remember watching the Bourbon Junkies when they had a cell phone for a camera in a garage. I was talking to Todd about that because we were, it was 7 years ago. We started trying to do the homebrew thing, and I said, let's just do a little. We need a logo. We need this. And I mean, we had it on a printed out piece of paper. Our cameras were bad. Like it was just,
cameras are flip phones.
Everything was terrible.
Terrible.
But ignorance is bliss in this industry, because if you don't know it's terrible, you're just happy you're putting stuff out, and the first 20, 30, 40, 50 people that follow, you're like, wow, look at this.
Yeah. Not
realizing how big this space is. Do you ever look back and think, because that was fun, like those some of those really they may not have been the best videos, but they were fun.
Yeah, do you remember hitting 1,000 subscribers? Do you remember that happened when you got monetized? Do you remember that day?
1,000,000%. I remember that. I remember when we hit 2,000, 5,000, like all the through there, doing live streams for them all. Like, and I've been so happy with the community that we've got to build around the channel. Our community is ride or die, and we love them. It doesn't happen without them, and I'm extremely appreciative. And people reach out all the time when they're starting channels, and they're like, what do we need? Like, we're like, this is the camera we're looking at. And I'm like, listen, you can shoot it with like an iPhone at this point in time.
Yep.
Big thing, as long as you have audio, people will listen. As soon as you have bad audio and bad like camera work, they're gone. But if you have really good audio and okay camera, they'll be fine.
Exactly.
People love listening. People hate
You hear that, Joe Graves? Suck it.
That's awesome. Real quick, I saw you posted it as maple brulee barrels are in. Sean, they sound fantastic. Interesting to see what you guys do with those, huh? I mean, good.
Yeah, Lord. I know Brandon's already going to be pulling a couple and filling them up. But yeah, I think it's like plan D for the Ellie if it doesn't work out. So,
all right.
Spirit is our Ellie, releases first Saturday in November every year. We've got so many things just to cover it in case one project doesn't turn out. I feel like we have to be prepared because of how well the first one went, that we need to always try to
look at it.
Be in the same ballpark, if not elevate it from the
12 of them. Oof. That looks awesome.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
Oh yeah, we'll be putting a couple different things in those. So if you guys don't know, it is a whiskey barrel that they then age maple syrup in, and then they refired them. So
refired them,
toasted and refired. So like everything just kind of caramelizes. When I got out of my truck today and walked in, they were sitting by the door, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can smell that! It just smells like maple syrup." And like,
so how do you decide what like goes into there? What's the trial and error behind something like that? I mean, how do you? That's the beauty of it, right?
Just trial and error and see what works and see what doesn't. Honestly, we have a really high influx of light whiskey right now. I think it'd be really cool to do a couple of those. But yeah, we'll see. I know Brandon will come up with some 9 different barrel recipe and be throwing Amberon in there before you know it.
Yeah. And then finally, Sean, I've got from you know who Liz B is, of course, right? She is amazing. Was on our pick team. She sent me the Omen 1 Arctic Spirit. You were mentioning that, so I have a nice sample. I've already done a review of it, and I love it. But I'm gonna. That's my final pour of the night, Andy. I'm gonna drink that, and
I don't think I've ever heard you say that's my final pour of the night.
Okay, I lied. It's not gonna be my final pour of the night, but I'm gonna just
that's fake news, but that's okay.
Fake news.
So that was Dan's. I'll say Dan's passion project. As soon as we started getting barrels in and wanted to do some finishing stuff. So if you don't know, Dan's like Great White Buffalo forever and for always has been Midwinter Night's Dram. And so we started looking at different barrels.
Too bad this is better than that now.
We got a tawny. I don't even know what it would be considered, like a hogshead or something. It was like 165 gallons. Like, it is the biggest barrel ever.
This is so freaking good.
And so I think we put 4 barrels of 95.5 into that, and then we had 2 Ruby Port barrels. Ended up only using 1, and then adding in just straight 95.5 after that. I think there was 52 in there as well from Sagamore, but it was like 120-ish proof. Like very much so. The
116
code. Okay. Code Midwinter Night's Dram Killer.
I mean, it's especially now, it's way better than. I mean, yes, for sure. I mean, I've fallen off a bit on what they've put out. I mean, I think there's a lot more.
I will say we do have the luxury before I went too hard. We do have the luxury of doing for them basically a micro blend. So that was only I think 1,400 bottles or so in that blend, 12, 14, somewhere in there. So not gigantic. It allows us to really tighten a lot of levers and get it exactly where we want it to be and not have to make 180,000 cases.
Yeah, makes sense. Did anybody out there have this, the Omen 1, I guess? And when did this come out, Sean?
That was last November.
Last November. Okay, got it. There you go. What's coming up? I know you got to go soon. What do you have besides this weekend? But what can we expect? And for the people that don't live in sort of Michigan, where you heavily distribute, where's the best place they can go to find your products?
Our Patreon would be the number one spot that we put out there. So we do a lot of single barrels. We're currently working on the next Exodus blend, so that is under the Omen line. So for people that don't know, Essence is all of our single barrels. So if you see like the that says Essence in big letters, that is a single barrel. The Omen labels. So if you're looking at this, the Easter egg, so it says Omen right there.
Yep.
Up, down. Yep.
Oh, nice.
I probably have an Exodus rye. It also says Omen there too. Don't worry. Those are our blends. So that is us going in there and trying to make the best blend under that label. So Night Stalker for us is our straight bourbon blend. Exodus is normally supposed to be a straight rye whiskey, even though Exodus 1 was toasted. So Exodus 3 is cooking up right now. Dan has blending notes. We need to add a couple more barrels to that, but it is very close. We've got set aside for that. But that'll be a blend of 52 and 51s from Sagamore and MGP. And then we have our Patron blend. We had asked patrons last summer or fall what they wanted to do. So we gave a couple different options for finishing barrels, and PX Sherry came out as the winner on the poll. And then I had secretly wanted Cognac to win, so we bought Cognac barrels and done some projects with that now. But so we have a PX Sherry. 2 barrels were filled with 95.5. 1 barrel was filled with 52% rye from Maryland, and those are in the tank. And what we need to do is find a couple barrels with some 51s more than likely to round that out, and then that'll be going to Patron.
And you also do, besides EverNorth drops, I mean, you're still out there doing single barrel picks as well, right? Of other distilleries for your patrons.
Our patron also supports, so that is more the Bourbon Junkie side of things, honestly. Yeah. But we just get to filter the EverNorth bottles into there to help people out. But yeah, we do at this point. Probably.
Oh, so there's an EverNorth Patreon and a Bourbon Junkie Patreon.
Nope. All the patron, no, we don't need to do 2.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Everyone's already paying 1 member.
The wrong one then.
And it's us. So all the patron stuff, the patrons still get all the EverNorth stuff as well as the Bourbon Junkie side of stuff. So we probably do about 20 to 30 picks a year through the Bourbon Junkies from all over. Just dropped a Buzzard's Roost. I don't even know what is coming in next. This is where I need Dan and Ryan. What's coming in next?
This is like me and Andy. Andy's like, I don't know what's coming next. Todd, what's coming next?
We just went out to Indiana and picked a Hard Truth. So we've got a Hard Truth rye that'll be coming.
How beautiful is that place?
Oh my God. Like hidden fucking gem of a distillery, honestly. It's sitting on like 300.
It's just in the middle of nowhere, right? There's nothing around it.
Gorgeous, big rolling hills.
Yeah.
Cool place. If you're ever in the area, definitely check out Hard Truth. They've got some awesome stuff. By their grain bourbon. It was Bottle and Bond. Was absolutely blown away by that. But the Rise is what we were actually really interested in. So we went to pick a rye there. And then while we're there, we stopped over at Backbone. Love those guys, or love Nolan. We picked 3 barrels. So we have a MGP bourbon, and then I picked another double barrel Irish whiskey because I love Irish whiskey, and he imports it and double barrels it, and it's fantastic. And then Dan had picked another Wave Stave MGP that he did. He did one, I think, last year or the year before, and it was a lot of people's favorite pick that we did that year. So he let us go out there. We already had those picks in mind, and he was like, "Yeah, absolutely, let's go through some samples." So just did those. Those will be coming in.
How do you manage all this? How do you manage going on these? You have families just like us. I mean, how do you go on picks, run your own NDP? How do you do it?
Sean, Todd wants to know how to get. Todd wants to know how to get a hall pass. What does he have to do to get a hall pass?
What do I have to get a hall pass? I have 3 kids. My wife's a teacher. Come on.
Yeah. So it's a lot of forgiveness, mostly. A lot of not sleeping.
Told you.
A lot of
You have to suffer, Todd. Yeah. You have to suffer. That's the only real answer.
To suffer, Andy.
That's the only real answer. You have to suffer a little bit.
All right.
No, that's awesome.
That's great.
Well, it's cool you guys are still able to balance the two, because I think you got a wonderful thing going at EverNorth, and people are just, I think for all of us, it's great to be able to get something this quality for a price that is just mind-boggling today, considering how things are. But like I said, you guys are really authentic. You guys are cool to work with. We couldn't be more appreciative that you had us out there with our pick team.
Like I said,
And
we'd love to come back next year if it's there.
Yeah, we'd love to. And Tuesday nights, watch 21090. But if you don't, there's another channel called the Junk. Yeah, hey, look, though, they are great guys. We don't have to tell you about that, but they, look, the industry the community is pretty cool and pretty tight knit. And the fact that you guys working with a channel of our size and hanging out with us, we appreciate it very much. So we're honored to be working with you.
And
guys.
thank you to Brandon. Brandon especially got us hooked up with you.
Yep,
Sean,
thank you.
And Brandon, you're the man. Thank you for doing that and everything you do for EverNorth, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, Brandon's he's an OG of the channel too. Honestly, I think in like the first year we were doing stuff, Dan was trading locally. I don't even remember what they were trading for. I think it was like a Midwinters or a Son of Burrai or something like that. And they met each other at a one of our buddies at the time owned the liquor store. Went there, traded bottles, and he was like, I got a blind for you guys. I watched the channel. I was like, oh, dude, that's so fucking cool. And then just became friends after that. We used to have a really big like once a month bottle share with a lot of guys. So just get together, hang out, drink whiskey. And Brandon was one of those guys. So he's been around forever, and we couldn't be happier with him being part of the team.
All right, I lied. Last one is the Spirit Walker 3. This is the Cobbler.
Cobbler, yeah.
Again, Liz B. This is like, I remember, this is like blackberry juice in a glass, I think.
Yeah, so that was, I think, our first, like, half of the ring of doing, like, a...
Andy, you got to try this. Oh, my God.
It'll be gone.
No, I saved it.
So we have raspberry brandy, blackberry brandy, Madagascar vanilla, like finished.
Oh my! It's so crazy. It is amazing. Wow. Now listen, if you don't like sort of that wow flavor in your whiskey, holy crap! That is, Andy, you got to try. This is amazing. I love it, but I don't know. I mean, holy crap, that's amazing. I don't know how you did it. I've never tasted a whiskey like that.
Does it taste like a milkshake at all?
Oh, shut up.
Because my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. They're like, it's better than yours, damn right. It's better than yours.
We've gotten to that point of the show, Sean, where
I had to do that.
I love it.
Don't worry, come back. I got plenty more.
You give each other shit, and this is why everything works. Yeah,
exactly. Well, Sean, we don't want to keep it anymore. We really appreciate everything you've done for us. Great host up at EverNorth. We hope we can do it again and come up next year and replicate this magic. Friday, guys, we're dropping these, and we expect hopefully a great sellout. That's what our hope is.
And you guys, it's rising tides, raise all ships type of deal here. Like, we're doing the same thing where everyone's trying to support each other. Like I said, it's a very tight knit community. So happy to help you guys out, and glad that you guys had a good time.
No, we appreciate it, man. We can't thank you enough. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean from
Sean, thank you, brother.
EverNorth and the Bourbon.
And next year, Andy, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Sean, we're going to take a clip of this right now. And next year, when me and 5 people there, and Todd is sitting behind his bar with a stupid bald head, and we're going to replay this just like we did the milkshake video. Can I play something else? One more thing for you? Would you like to see one more thing? Well, if Sean doesn't want to see anything else, I won't. But
no, it's fine. I
all right, we'll play one more thing.
Nancy Fraley, Greg Metz. Who else did we see?
Oh, he liked the. Are you talking about the P90X?
Yeah, I thought that's what you were showing.
Oh, no. I guess I could do that. Actually, that's even more embarrassing. Let's do.
Sean,
that.
I didn't know what I was talking about at the time, obviously. So go ahead and roll the tape. God damn it!
I'm so intrigued by this.
This was a while ago. I didn't really know whiskey at the time. And,
okay.
He still doesn't really know whiskey.
Andy sent me a list of whiskeys that he said were whiskeys of the year, and I went with it. So that's the preface of this.
Oh no!
Oh shit! Now here we go. Actually,
so was it Malort?
Oh no! This is just
no. That's too like a real whiskey.
You'll appreciate this.
Excellent. Okay, what you guys are all waiting for tonight on our live stream, our members only giveaway is something very special. We are giving away our top 5 whiskeys of 2020 to a lucky winner. Those are going to be the Knob Creek 12-year Select, the Wild Turkey Rare Breed Ride, the Rare Breed Masters Tier 17, the Old Crow Double Barrel 47, and then the Maker's Mark's P90X. All absolutely amazing bourbons that you can't find easily that Andy has. One lucky member will get it. So we can't wait to see you tonight, 8:30 p.m. And we'll have some fun. Cheers. I'm at the beach. That's where the live stream will be.
Shit.
Oh, Sean.
Oh, that is fucking fantastic.
So if we ever do a Maker's Mark pick, which I don't think we ever
God.
will, it's got to be a P90X. But you would think
Holy
that
shit.
would like say this is fake P90X.
He was bothering me, and he keeps saying, "Hey, I need the whiskeys for tonight for the show." I was like, "Shut up, Todd. I'm working. I'll get over to you." And so I just made up. I knew we liked Rare Breed Rye, so I put that in as a real one, and then just made up shit. Like the Old Crow Double Barrel 47 was my favorite one because
Old Crow Double Barrel.
and
47.
so we ended up naming.
I read it.
We actually made a barrel pick out of that, and this was what we did when we were at OCD. So we actually named it Old Crow Double Barrel 47.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, so that was great. That was.
I'm gonna have to remember that. Dan will read anything, so I can definitely get him to do this. That's good inspiration
P90X.
right
I
there.
don't know about that.
I don't know. He's like our own personal Ron Burgundy.
It was
Put a question mark and
2020.
see if he'll read it.
I didn't really know what I was talking about. I still don't know what I'm talking about, but I know at least not to say that. God damn
Yeah,
it.
dude, that is
How good is that, right?
that's a good friend joke right there. Like that is fully fantastic because you just read it and you're just like, yeah, I'm on vacation, I'm out of here, and then you get the
God.
little.
No, the thing was, he said, you actually put that up? Because I said, Andy, I put up a video. He said, of what? I said, of our top whiskeys of the year. He said, you actually put that up? I'm like, yeah, you gave it to me. He's like, you fucking idiot. I was just joking, but that's awesome. I can't wait to clip that. I was like, what are you talking about?
How were the comments on that?
Oh, well, thankfully, it was just to our Patreon members, and they were
Okay.
very little at the time.
We had like 5 at the time, and they were like, they still thought he was an idiot, but it was fine because it was great.
No, see
Andy
that's
clipped it.
that's harmless fun. That's funny.
Yes.
But whenever you can find something like, I'm just 2 seconds of it.
And I'm getting really sick of guys named Todd. You know, yeah, it's just a goofy f***ing name, okay?
See, I love stuff like that. You can just pull up at the drop of a hat.
Enough.
It just
Sean has to go. He has a family to attend to, and it's enough. It's enough.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you guys so much for having
Thank
me
you, brother.
on.
Really
Glad
appreciate
to
it.
have you guys up, and I look forward to seeing you guys next year.
Awesome.
No, thank you
Good
again.
guys.
Tell
Andy,
Dan
keep
we
it
said
close.
hi. Hit him straight this weekend,
Yes.
man, and we can't wait to have you back on the show. If you're ever, like I said, if you ever do find your way at Sagamore, give us a call. We'll go watch your 37 and whatever Tigers beat the shit out of her 14 and whatever Orioles. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for you guys.
It certainly is. We appreciate you, brother.
Thanks,
Thank
brother.
you, Sean, very much.
Appreciate it.
All right,
God,
have a good night.
Sean Paisley from
All right,
EverNorth
guys.
Spirits and Bourbon Junkies. How cool is that? I mean,
That
just
is
amazing.
that is awesome. We appreciate having him on. That's fantastic. Everybody, I'll take us out with the Real Men of Genius. I know you guys wanted that. We'll do that.
Are we done, Andy? We're done?
No, we're not done. They're not done yet.
Yeah, we're not done
Look,
yet.
while we still have a decent audience before you all leave
Yes.
because Sean left.
Yes, it will all be
Yes,
soon leaving.
we do have the two EverNorth picks coming out this Friday for Patrons.
The following Friday.
The following
is
Friday, we're
Chattanooga.
going to have the Chattanooga pick, which is
bourbon.
absolutely fantastic. We are going to have Tim on next week
Yes.
from Chattanooga. We are going to discuss that. It's going to be a ton of fun. Don't sleep on that Chattanooga pick. It is absolutely dynamite, and there's not a lot
then the
out there.
Pursuit double
So
over.
we've got, there's the Chattageddon that is coming your way really soon. And this is not one you're going to find
No,
anywhere.
30
this
single barrels this year. That's it.
is a really limited run on this, which is great.
We tried to get two.
We did go. I was out in
Almost got
Bardstown a couple weeks ago. We got the first 2 K Lukes. So there's your
bourbon single barrel guys from K. Luke.
Toast 'em all from K Luke. Their toasted bourbon, which is absolutely killer, and then the Sherry Kicks, a little play on the Berry Kicks,
Oh, that's Sherry
which is
rye. I'm sorry, Sherry. It's a rye, right?
so that is absolutely killer as well. That's a rye finished in PX Sherry, which is freaking mind blowing.
Yes.
And then this weekend, guys, we just did something really fun. Somebody asked, I think it was Tim, said, "Did you go to Def Leppard?" Well, normally, yes, we would have.
Andy, look at these bad boys.
But we didn't. We actually spent the day
says 9.
in
9 years.
in Middleburg, Virginia, with Jay West, and we did a Reveries pick. We actually did 2 picks.
Oh.
You just settle down. We're getting there. All right, so we have 2 Reveries picks coming your way as well. We are going to have much more coming up on that, but let me just tell you something. These things are absolutely stellar. It was an amazing experience. Picking this is the very first time that Todd and I did a pick together.
Well, it was also the very first Reveries. Like no one else has been there. We're the first to be there for a single barrel.
So
it's pretty cool.
It was also funny because Todd was talking to Sean about this tonight. How he's a bit of a stat hunter and a proof hunter, and he likes to feed that. Those things kind of feed into his psyche. He likes it. For me, I'm the exact opposite. So, I got a little bit spoiled because I've been doing things one way, and he's like, "We got to get this, and so we had to come to a consensus. So we were down there like, "Okay, here's how we're gonna do it." So, Jay was really accommodating with us the way he broke it down. It was blinded-ish.
By years, basically.
By years, but we didn't know anything else about that, and we came away with 2 just absolutely dynamite barrels. So we do have a 9 here and a Go ahead. You look how happy. Just talk, Ty. You were so excited,
I want to drink this so bad.
Don't do it. Keep it. We'll do it for later. Just talk instead of drink. Talk. Sell. Right. People are leaving. Talk. Do your thing.
Now, sell. Buy these on Friday.
Not those. Talk about the 2 picks. Just talk about them.
Of Reveries? What are you talking about?
Oh, Reveries. People know the Junkies picks are coming. Go ahead and talk about them.
So we think this will come, July, I guess?
We're not sure the exact release, but yes, it'll be coming around then. But
here's what I didn't know what to expect when we went down there, right? We both didn't. And I will say this, Jay has big plans. The Reveries has big plans. You're going to hear a lot from these guys. And for us to be the first there, I think it's pretty damn cool. I mean, we were, listen, we do live closer. We could get down there. He sent out an appeal to some people, and we said, we could get down there whenever you want. He said, I got openings in May. And we're like, how about this weekend? And we came. And I'm glad we did because, we were able to see it first and go through a bunch of barrels. And again, this isn't something that Jay and the Reveries are going to just it's not a one-shot thing. And this is a long game thing, right? I mean, that's all I can say.
Absolutely. About it. Well, let's put it this way: if you've had anything from the Reveries, it's fantastic. Yeah. There's a lot of time, effort, and quality that's put into this. So everything that is selected, there's intentionality behind it, and I was kind of blown away by just the vast amount of knowledge and everything that went behind this. This is an operation you guys are going to be ecstatic about. We picked a killer barrel.
That 9-year is so.
The 9-year will blow your mind. It's that good. And then the 16-year is. It's next level. And even down to little things like we were talking to Jay, I don't want something overly oaked. We made sure that it was exactly hitting the flavor profile we wanted. We tasted through a bunch of the 16s, and they were all freaking amazing, but we picked out the one that was just absolutely killer. We're just loving doing this, trying to bring unique offerings to you all. 30 barrels of Chattanooga released this year. We got one of them. We're the first to do the 2K Lukes.
There's 6K Luke single barrels.
There's only 6 of them.
4 of them are going to Stores. One's going to Fredman, and we got 1.5.
And it's not about a race to be the first to everything, but it is an effort to try and do something that is going to excite you guys and make you want to become patrons, make you want to tell your friends to become patrons, because for us to do it, we do have to grow. So we do have to grow, and we probably don't say it enough, but share, subscribe, bring friends, bring 2 friends, whatever you can do, because we want to keep this train rolling. But no, we can't be more excited about the Reveries picking up, but a lot of good stuff. So we've got, and don't sleep, we got a Pursuit pick coming out, and possibly another one after that. So we've got 4 Corbin Caches on the way.
Jesus.
We've got an old line coming. We've got an
event on the 19th.
We've got a lot of stuff on the way. We'll talk more about the event on July 19th. But if you're out there, July 19th, there's going to be a big event in Baltimore. We would love to have you guys there. There's going to be a ton of people.
David Sousa of Corbin Cash.
Just stop
Jay West of the
talking for
Reverie.
a second. We're gonna give you guys all the information very soon. It's hard not hitting you when you're not here.
Why? That's all public knowledge now.
It's not yet, but we're gonna drop everything for y'all have. But just get ready for the 19th. Make plans to be in Baltimore on July 19th. We'll have plans.
But Andy's going to be back here soon because he stole all of our equipment. I'm not even on this. This doesn't even work. We got this on. That was all props.
This is why I played stuff, Todd, because you're at that phase where you're happy and you're a little bit pink and you're a little bit you're a little intoxicated. You're a little intoxicated. That's how we know it's time to end the show.
Saturday,
well, this is funny. Todd didn't realize because he hasn't been on picks. So we're tasting a shit ton of whiskey, and so obviously if I don't like. Well, not if I don't like it, but if I know it's not going to be another whiskey, I'll just take it and I'll dump it. Like, this isn't working for me. Well, Todd thought that, if you're at Auntie Rue's house, you have to clean your plate no matter what. So he's down in every single thing that he's doing. Oh, I don't know how you do this. Next thing you know, I was like, dude, why are you drinking if we're not picking it? What are you supposed to do is like throw it, just dump it. And in distilleries, you just take it, you just dump it wherever. Todd's finding like nice little corners with crevices that he can dump it in and be prim and proper. It was funny as hell.
9 years I got on wise of the game.
It was great, but no, it was also it was a good time.
Hi, that Hasman I sent you, Dave. I've got So Andy, Dave sent us, and I'm going to do a short on this. It's a Canadian whiskey that's 172 proof.
Jesus.
I'm doing a review of that this week. I can't say who it's from, but it's from Dave. And,
you just said who it's from.
It's from Dave. No, like what distillery it's from.
Okay.
They actually didn't put it out, but Dave somehow got a bottle of it. 172 proof. God knows what it's going to taste like. So,
well, these are legit 21090 picks from the referees coming.
That's
Don't
true.
worry.
That is true. That is true. Hey, Andy does well. Why mess with something, right, Andy?
Yeah, that's right. You are such a good politician, though. You had the best answers for things. I got to tell you, I wish I was as quick on my feet as you are.
All right, let's do one more time for the poll, guys. So Friday, we will put up the tier schedule probably tomorrow or Thursday. The tier schedule. It'll probably start. The highest tiers will get at 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. It'll start, and it's like every hour and a half hour. They will drop. We are not putting limits on these. There's a ton of bottles to sell. We have 340 bottles to sell. We only have 200 and, as of today, 9 paid patrons. So
have at it. Go get them.
And let's, we have to sell these or else we're not going to go back. Not to put pressure on anybody, but it is what it is. No, it's the truth.
I have full faith. We'll move these things.
We'll
be in good shape.
They're great. It's $64. I mean, it's amazing. The question. So I wanted to go real quick, Andy. The last thing I wanted to say before tonight. 112 votes. Andy, if you had to pick one of the two, what are you most excited for people to try? Is it the Junkie Business, the 7-year Green River Bourbon, or is it the Cherry Rye 7-year MGP, 51% rye MGP Rye mash bill? What are you most excited?
This is easy for me, and it's the rye. Not because the bourbon isn't fantastic, because it is, but people who love bourbon and are familiar with bourbon are going to absolutely adore it. People who are on the fence about rye are going to try this and be like, "Damn, that's just freaking delicious!" And that's what we want. It's the same thing when you guys were like, American single malt, and then you try, you're like, shit, that's good. That's what we want the reaction to be from the Cherry Rye. It's that freaking good. It's fantastic. So,
agreed. So there's 113 votes, Andy. So I did, the bourbon, the rye, or both. So with 114 votes,
no pressure. We have to sell them or my kids don't eat, and I'll be living out of my car sometimes.
No, it's not even that. I mean, we just, we've never worked with Bourbon Outfitter. We want to show well, and we said we could sell two, so let's sell two. And they're
full faith in
46% said both. That's great.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
29% said the Junkie Business, the bourbon, and 25% said Cherry Rye. So I love that distribution. I think the rye is
get the rye too. Oh my god, that's good.
No, get them both. That's the point.
I said two. There's two.
Oh, get two ryes. I would 100%. The question is, do we need to get more of this rye before Friday?
Well, we can't. We're broke. So we
That's
went
true.
to the we went so we so we just this is how much money we make.
Oh no, you're gonna say this.
We went to we used the last of our spoils to get two hotel rooms to a hotel room this weekend. So I put there was a Four Seasons that I stayed at, the presidential suite, and Todd stayed at the Red Roof Inn. We spent both of our money on that. They leave the light on for him. He said he was itchy in the morning. I don't know why that was. I'll let you take it from here. But
so we get to watch after the pick. And we don't have a ton of money in our account. I didn't know how much we had. We go to Buffalo Wings.
Watch the Jets game.
And Andy, you're drinking a lot of beer. I can't believe I stopped because I was feeling good.
I said, man, I think I had 2 beers last night.
You had like 5.
It's like, what?
Our bill was like $140, and we ate wings, and Andy drank a lot of beer because he's watching the Jets game. I drank 1 beer and a bunch of Coke Zeros. And I give her our card, and it got declined. We didn't have enough money in our account.
Todd says,
remember that.
Todd goes in the morning, he goes, card declined. What? Why? Well, because we're broke. It's like,
we
fantastic.
have $18 in our account.
So so you can tell how rich we're getting off of 21090.
Yes,
but anyway,
it's fun. It's so much fun.
It was a blast. We had a good time. Tonight was great.
Yes,
having Sean on was awesome. So again, this week on Friday, the Junkie Business Cherry Rod dropping. Next week, the Chatta Getting It from
we're going right to Chattanooga.
From Chattanooga is coming on. Tim Pearson from Chattanooga Whiskey Company will be on with us, along with maybe some members of that pick team.
Yes.
Again, we talked about what a great experience it was at EverNorth. Chattanooga was just freaking killer. Good. It was stellar. It was an amazing time there. I cannot wait for you all to try this gem. Here it is, sitting right there. That's our bottle. Still got a little bit left.
We are going to be on also the Bourbon Jerk.
Yep.
His stream the 26th, I think. I think that's 20. Hold on, let me get that right date here. Hold on, give me a second. We will be on the Bourbon Jerk. Tom, give me 1 second. It's the Thursday before the
Chattanooga drop.
Chattanooga drop. So what is that, Andy? The
29th. 29th.
Sorry, the 29th. Yeah, the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be on there the 29th. So the Bourbon Jerk, Andy and Todd, he'll send us a blind. We'll do that, but we're going to send him the Chattanooga to get his thoughts on before it drops on the 30th. So, Andy, I got to get a nice sample from you from that bottle. So we can set it out.
Lots of good stuff coming. And like I said, we're stoked with the Reveries. That is going to be absolutely fantastic. Don't forget, we've got Hazmat Rye, Bourbon from Corbin Cash, as well as another 9 years and a 10-year rye. Oh, my God, that's good, too. So
10-year rye.
Let's just say there's a lot of good stuff coming from 21090. We are hoping that this is a channel you're going to want to kind of sync with us and just sync with us or sink your teeth into with us. Yeah. And just
what you're saying here, Andy, but just check us out. You can
come to Patreon,
Patreon for free. And then if you want to jump in and be a paid Patreon member, because that's how you kind of get access to, but come be a free member. It doesn't cost anything. And
the Reveries is a program from Shareport. We'll tell you all about that very soon, David. There's lots coming from that, but it is. Yeah, it's
that's MGP. That is MGP. The Reveries 9 is an MGP. The 16 is the Buff Turkey.
I think he may have been asking like what the Reveries in general was, but we'll talk more about that program. We'll have Jay on.
Our 9-year, I think he's talking about.
Oh, where's it from? Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's an MGP from, and it was a Calvin barrel. It's really good.
We went from the 7 to the 9s, and immediately we're like, well, it's an easy decision. Now there's a higher price, but it was that 9-year was like the sweet spot. Like if we only had to get one, I mean, when you talk about the cost of what the Buff Turkey is,
I don't know. They're both different in so many ways. I mean, that 16. If you want something that's just a showpiece on your mantle that is just going to blow people's minds, that 16 will take you there. I mean, it is one of the best whiskeys I've tried.
That's true.
Period.
It's expensive though. It's going to be expensive. And we're talking $300.
Todd, we can't get it because we don't have any money in our account, but you guys can.
It's true.
This is why Todd stays in the Red Roof Inn. So that's fine. So you guys can try it. We've only tried it once.
That was embarrassing.
I didn't even realize it was whatever.
Bad X. I think Bad X had a 10-year coming. You picked one too, didn't you, buddy? Oh, that 10. I mean, listen, anything Corbin Cash does, amazing. But Bobby and Andy and DRC, they actually go out there to the Rick House with David.
Mm-hmm.
and go through his stash, right? They don't get sent samples. They make the trip out to for us. It's a really long. I mean, it costs us a lot of money to send into that Oakland, California, or wherever it is you go fly into, and then drive to Atwater. But it yields, I think, a better pick.
It's worth it.
And Bobby lives within driving. He knows how great it is to get there and actually select barrels. You get such a great product. I mean, they're all good.
Bobby's such a good guy. Bobby is. You want to talk about a good dude in whiskey? Check out Bobby from Bags Bourbon.
Come out to Baltimore on the 19th and hang.
Yes,
get on the plane with David and come out.
We're getting some people. What time dropping? Probably 3-4 o'clock. It'll start dropping on Friday. Frankie, this will not be open to the free tier. Unfortunately, this is for.
Well, hold on. Well, we don't know that. If it makes it through,
no, we've discussed this, pal. So we are encouraging people to, if you want to get your hands on this, to jump up. And so this is.
If it doesn't sell out,
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Okay, so we are going to we'll discuss this off air anyway. But yes, Friday, be ready, and then we will be right at it next week with Chattanooga.
I don't know why you're getting upset.
I'm not getting upset. We've already talked about it. You probably don't remember because you drink too much. So we're gonna just say goodbye, everybody, and we'll see everybody next week.
So that we will post tomorrow, or
we'll
maybe
post
Thursday,
the link schedule. Yes,
the link schedule, and free tier will be a part of that if it makes it. I don't think it will. That's what I'm saying, Andy.
Okay. We will talk to you guys next week.
All right, guys. Chattanooga next week.
All right, we'll see you.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Really, Really, Really Bad Dancer.
Mr. Really, Really, Really Bad Dancer.
Arms swinging, knees bending, head bobbing to no particular rhythm. You're either dancing or you have fleas.
Call me a doctor.
As soon as you hit the dance floor, the taunts begin. Is that all you got, playa? Unfortunately, yes, that's all you got.
Pour it on now.
Who's in the house? Some guy who can't dance. That's who's in the house.
Your style.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Happy Feet, because you really put the oogie in boogie.